All right, let's start with a somber note. As Azeez Al-Shaair, one of the toughest moments to watch in the early window, with a brutal hit on Trevor Lawrence. I think anyone that watched it was left thinking not only should it be an ejectable offense, but maybe, just maybe a little bit more than that. One of the worst hits, reminiscent of when Trent Green, way back in the early 2000s, took a hit in the helmet while he was sliding. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence knocked out of that game with a concussion, didn't come back. Probably unlikely to come back anytime soon. What did you think of that hit, seeing that one live?
I mean, it blew my mind. My thought was that the refs should have just taken Al-Shaair and hey, man, we're going to walk you to the tunnel because you're done. Right? You cannot play another down today. You cannot play another down the rest of this season. I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, too, with talking about Trent Green, because when you look at NFL embraced stuff like this back in the day, 20, 30 years ago, where this would have led all highlight reels going into the Sunday night when the NFL primetime. That would have been definitely, you got jacked up. Yeah, exactly. But no, this does not happen anymore, especially not with quarterbacks. I mean, if this had been a hit on Patrick Mahomes, Al-Shaair had probably been banned for his entire life. I will not be surprised if the NFL hands out a suspension, because you cannot let quarterbacks take these kind of hits, especially when they are clearly sliding. I know it's gotten a little dicey this year because you have the fake slides, or some quarterbacks fake step out of bounds, kind of do that juke step, go back in and try and get a couple more yards, kind of like Caleb Williams did on Thanksgiving. I thought the Lions player made a fair hit because Caleb Williams decided to stay in bounds. That's the kind of hit you're going to take. But if you are a quarterback, you are giving yourself up. You cannot hit him like that. I mean, it was shocking to see that happen in the modern NFL.
Do we think there is, I'm just spitballing here, like another option besides sliding? Because sliding does, I mentioned Trent Green because that was one of the most brutal ones I've seen. But like, this is not an uncommon occurrence where a quarterback slides and their helmet is then the tallest point that is off the ground. So if someone is diving at them, that's what they hit. We were inches away just a few weeks ago. Brian Branch, I can't remember which game that was. I don't know if you remember, taking someone's head off in a similar situation. He did what Azeez Al-Shaair did, but just didn't clip the helmet of the quarterback. Is there another option in the open field besides sliding? Like someone, maybe if you just spike it, if you're in the open field, or do something that we can make sure that everyone knows, hey, the play's dead. Like, I just gave myself up, but I'm also not wanting to put myself in harm's way if a guy's really bearing down on me.
Well, and it's an interesting point because, as you said, some players start diving before the quarterback starts his slide. So it's not like he's intentionally trying to destroy the quarterback, but sometimes that just happens because the quarterback slides so late. And I'm not sure what you could do except maybe drop to a knee and then stand right back up. And if a QB does that, that's him giving himself up. Don't touch him. But even then, if a player is already starting his dive, I'm not sure what else to do except maybe the quarterback just kind of fumbles it out of bounds. Yeah, it does something like, I surrender, go ahead. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe you come up with that. You write a letter to Roger Goodell, and then we can call it the Renner rule.
There we go. I think we do need something because, unfortunately, now this one was obviously egregious, but there are situations where there is gray area where the Caleb Williams over the week on Thursday night or Thursday afternoon, I guess, gets hit in his hip. He wasn't happy about it, but it's like, I can't fault the defender in that situation. It was super late if Caleb was trying to slide. And if he was trying to slide, it was kind of an ugly attempt at it. So hard to really say what he was doing there. And it's still football. You still have to hit at the end of the day. So unfortunate in that one, but I think we all agree Azeez Al-Shaair, one ejection is not enough. I think 2+ game suspension is a minimum to just try to make sure that those type of hits aren't happening in the NFL. We have Harry, our producer, texting me saying, something from Ryan Wilson got sent into the show that he needs to show us. So what do we got here? Is that Kyle Long and Ryan Wilson? Oh, no. What's the tattoo there?
I got confused too. I thought it was Kyle and Ryan. It's Ryan's Snoopy tattoo that he got over a Bengals win over the Steelers back in 2020. I don't know. Ryan Finley was the quarterback, and Wilson said that if Ryan Finley beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, he would get a tattoo, and that is the tattoo. And I think Wilson probably sent it in really just to kind of rub it in my face that the Steelers just put up 44 points on the Bengals, which is just disheartening.
I cannot imagine the scene at the Banks after that. It had to have been fistfights. It always is. It always was when I lived there. After Steelers games, if there wasn't multiple people leaving in handcuffs, It just wasn't the Steelers.
That's when all the fights start. That's when, if you don't go straight home, you're getting in a fight that night.
If
you're a fan.
All right, let's get to a little our fourth storyline here coming out of Sunday night. Rookie quarterback roundup, because I think all these guys have looked fantastic this season at times, but I think especially this week you saw some high-end play around the NFL from Caleb Williams. Goes 20 of 39, 256 yards, 3 touchdowns. What he did in the second half of that game, sans the final play, which we can get to here in a second. Jayden Daniels, 25 of 30, 206 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown, and an interception that was not the worst throw in the world, tipped off his receiver's hands. And then Drake Maye goes 24 of 30, 238 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. We haven't had you on to talk about these rookies, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. If you had to rank these three, just these three, because we haven't seen Bo Nix yet, we'll see him on Monday night, how would you rank them so far this season?
All right, if I had to rank them based on who has surprised me the most, then the answer is Drake Maye. So if I had to rank that based on who I think is playing the best or has played the best overall, it's Jayden Daniels. But Drake Maye went into the worst situation of any of these quarterbacks. It was kind of set up to fail. I mean, there's a reason Jacoby Brissett started the season, because they didn't want Drake Maye to get sacked 14 times in week 1 and want to give up and retire from football after playing 3 games. So the Patriots don't have a great roster. I think we all know that. The offensive line's not great. They got an okay running game with Ramondre Stevenson, and they don't really have a star receiver. Caleb Williams out there throwing to Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Jayden Daniels has a Terry McLaurin, but Drake Maye doesn't have that, and yet the Patriots are in it every week. They're winning games they shouldn't win, losing games they shouldn't lose. They should have beaten the Colts on Sunday. So I have been very fascinated by the way Drake Maye has been playing. So he's my most surprising rookie, but Jayden Daniels, I think, you probably have to call the best rookie overall right now.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of those sentiments. The one thing I will note, though, is that I do think that all these guys, all these quarterbacks are franchise quarterbacks. I can't remember a time where we've had a rookie class, and it was heralded for a reason, obviously, pre-draft, but that's happened before, right? 2021 was specifically, it was only the second time in NFL history where quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3. It was called this awesome quarterback class, and here we are 4 years later, 4 seasons later, and it's like maybe Trevor, but even he hasn't lived up to the hype. But all of these guys who have played, and Bo Nix can get into that bucket too, and even the guys who haven't, and the reports from them in the preseason in terms of J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix, it's like there's been no reason for concern with any of them. Funnily enough, the one that has probably the most reasons for concern is the guy who was drafted number 1 overall, Caleb Williams. But even he, at times, you're just in awe of what this guy is capable of. So I do think it can't be said enough how unique this is, that we're talking about 4 rookie starting quarterbacks all playing at a competent level right out the gate. And that the NFL, quite frankly, needed this. We lost a lot of good QBs in the last 5 years in terms of just to retirement, not anything more than that. But this rookie quarterback class looks special.
Yeah, and one quick thing, I'm going to toot my horn, because Bo Nix was my preseason pick to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And the only reason I thought that, he looks good. And I know that people don't love that he's not throwing downfield as probably as often as some of these other quarterbacks. But, man, he is running Sean Payton's offense. That's what Sean Payton wants. He's saying, take the safe throws. We don't care about what your numbers look like at the end of the game. I want to win. I want you to throw an accurate ball. I want a high completion percentage, and the yards will come. And Bo Nix is just playing so intelligently that, we were only listing those 3, but maybe he's tied with Drake Maye as the most surprising for me. But it's just unbelievable what Bo Nix has done.
Yeah, I couldn't believe the discourse online this week over Bo Nix. That's people poking holes in his game. It's like, dude, this is a rookie quarterback who has not turned the ball over the last 8 games. He just flat out isn't even putting the ball in harm's way. According to PFF, over his last 8 games, he has 2 turnover-worthy plays. It's the lowest in the NFL. That's just unheard of stuff for a rookie. And it's not as if he's doing it by being completely Alex Smith. Now he's high on the Alex Smith to Jameis Winston spectrum. He's far more towards Alex Smith, right, than Jameis Winston. But it's not like he's completely just checking it down every single time, never attacking down the football field. He does it at times. He does it when he needs to, and he doesn't make mistakes with football. It's like, what more do you really want a rookie quarterback to do? We can argue about what his ceiling is going to be at the NFL level. But if you're a Broncos fan who's had to watch some of the worst quarterbacks in modern NFL history,
Brock Osweiler,
yeah, over the last almost decade since Peyton Manning retired, I think you're just pretty happy as hell that you got that guy 13th overall and didn't have to trade up any draft capital to go get him, right? Like it's not, we don't have to overcomplicate this and poke too many holes in this game. The guy's winning and he's a rookie. That's what more can you ask for?
It is crazy how the internet turns on people though. And this wasn't the week to do it. I don't know why everyone turned on Bo Nix in the past week. It's just been insane to read about, especially on X with, everybody's got an opinion, but it's just nuts that Bo Nix is being dragged through the mud.